Hi guys, welcome back to Pro Podcast. Today we want to talk about careers. We want to give you guys our personal experiences and how we are managing and how we are navigating this world. I'm your host, Leonida Owaga.
I'm Otiato Guguyu.
I'm Irobiro Edgar.
Nelly Munyangi.
Karibuni guys, karibuni sana. So, the first time mlisikia, what do you want to be when you grow up? Must have been really young. I think the first time I normally ask that is when we are in primary school. Definitely. For me, when niliulizwa nilikuwa nataka kuwa pilot. I'm not so sure why, but I think it was a fascination at the sky and everything. I really wanted to be a pilot. But here we are doing a podcast.
What happened though? What was the experience? Did you go out to airfield? What was the experience?
Yeah, so I was so convinced. I think that's the only thing I've always wanted, to be a pilot. And then nilikuwa nisha apply, and then I had even gotten a school. I had done like the tests, everything. Nilikuwa imebaki to medicals. And then my mom's friend's son, who's also a pilot, died in a car crash. Ati kwa sababu sijui, he said that since he's a pilot, he can drive a car when he's drunk. And then he got an accident, and my mom was like, no. You won't do it. You would. Yeah. So I had to change. Yeah. What did you want to be growing up?
I think mine sort of changed quite a bit. Nilikuwa mdogo, I guess one of those days tulikuwa tunaona ilikuwa probably Madaraka Day is coming up. So one of those days when we had this hizo my events ilikuwa very prominent hizo siku. So after the marching and the I want to be a policeman. Because that marching was impressive as a kid. Like you literally saw those people wanna pita like it's the choreography and everything. Like I really wanted to be that at some point.
Yeah.
But then when growing up a little bit, I guess that was never an option.
Why not?
I changed. No, policeman, no. I changed, I think later on. I think what sort of there's a bit of an influence from my brother Pia and a little bit from a book that I read. I was almost going into I'm Catholic, so I was almost going into this priesthood at some point also because of the influence of my brother alikuwa nini
altar boy.
Hata mimi at some point I was an altar boy. So that ambition, and then teenage comes in, and then you realize celibacy is not your thing. Another career down the drain. I don't know how I ended up in journalism.
Somehow umejipata tu. Okay. And Edgar?
For me, when growing up, actually, I also wanted to be a pilot.
Oh.
Yes. Because I used to fancy planes a lot. I used to draw them. I used to be a very good artist. I'm still a good artist, yes. But I used to draw a lot of planes and aeroplanes. So we used to have this uncle of ours who used to work for KQ. So he used to look like actually I think he's still our coolest uncle growing up. So he used to work for KQ then, and then those back in the years KQ used to be like, it was at its top, its best then. So I used to fancy being a pilot, and all that. It used to look cool. So I think that is I've always wanted to be a pilot for the longest time in my life. I don't think there's any time I ever shifted into any other thing. And then how I ended up being a lawyer, it's actually a very funny story because I insisted I want to be a pilot for a very long time, and then after finishing Form 4, apart from maths, of course, there's the other thing to do with the cut-off point. That was so bad. Anyway, and then the uncle of us told us that if we want to do, there was a course that KQ was running at the time. We wanted to. It was I think 9 months, or I don't know if it's 16 months. A course for a range. It wasn't even up to a year. It was I think 9 months for you to start being a pilot. Then I insisted I want to do it. Then I think my dad was showed the school fees. Then I was like, no. I'm not paying for you this one. Choose something else.
Pick something else.
And then I think a cousin of mine was doing. It was in law school then. Yeah. So my dad asked me, "What? Choose any other thing that you can do." So I used to be very argumentative growing up. And I used to be, I wasn't the person who would lose an argument, even in the house with my mom. So my mom told me, you can be a very good lawyer. And my dad was like, okay, yeah, I think we can do. So that's how I ended up doing
Like-
law.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And Nelly?
Growing up, I always wanted to be a doctor. You know, I've always loved reading. So the first book I ever read was Ben Carson. You know,
Think big.
Think big.
Gifted
Yeah.
hands.
And
Gifted
then
hands.
specifically, a gifted hand. Specifically, a neurosurgeon. That was the dream. Yeah,
What
until life happened.
Did you change your mind somewhere in between, or what happened?
No, I did not change my mind. I just missed a few points.
Cut off pia.
Yeah. I missed a few points to med school, and then paying for med school in Kenya, like on a parallel program, very expensive. So
And what are you doing now?
right now, I went for the second best thing, which is engineering, which should then engineering was the second best thing. So so I went for the
What
second
type
best
of
thing.
engineering have you done?
Oh, mechatronics. I did.
Ish.
Then actually, with mechatronics was the newest baby in town in terms of careers.
Yeah.
So it was like this fancy thing, you know. You're gonna be someone who can handle any automation and all that. So that was the next best thing to do at that time. So I picked that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. I ended up doing engineering as well, aeronautical, just because it's closer to piloting. But then I did it and I finished, and I'm not so sure anymore if I liked it very much. I don't know. It was not... Mbaka, it made me think, if I actually became a pilot, I would have gotten bored so quick. Like, it's so repetitive.
Yeah.
It's very repetitive. You have to do the same thing over and over. It's like driving a car, except...
Over and
Oh,
over.
Would
yeah.
you drive a car as a career?
For the money.
For the
Maybe
money.
for the money.
Yeah.
For the money, yeah.
Yeah.
For the money.
It's actually very boring.
I don't.
Get
I
paid
wouldn't
well.
look at it as at it driving a car. I will look at it like maybe visiting different places in the world. Their parts. Yeah.
Okay, maybe when you look at it like that.
Yeah.
Would you say money influenced the career you're doing now? Like, you looked at the money bit, like how much money are these people getting before you... What are you doing now?
Me, I've been a journalist for the past... I'm still a journalist. I've been a journalist for the past 10 years or over a decade as a journalist and still going strong. How I found myself here was also very interesting. After I finished high school, we were supposed to apply for courses in university. You're a Gava. So you have to apply it ahead of time. So I had applied. I also I loved reading. So ever since I was a kid, I was always reading. So I wanted something closer to that. And I think I remember my brother had chosen literature as a course in university. And after he graduated, it took so long before he found work. And when he eventually found employment, it was in a bank. So when I applied for the new university course, I applied for literature, and my father was like, "That is a course that you're going to get stuck here, and you're never going to get employed. So you have to try anything else." So I had to go to those things. I don't know what we call them. We used to revise courses at some point just before university ended. So I had to go back and change it. The agreement was I go and change, make some business course. Because I clearly, after literature, I didn't have anything else I was really interested in doing. So when I went there, I was supposed to change into something business, but I was not going to do business.
Why not?
No, I didn't want to. As in anything else, that was what my father preferably thought that I would have chosen after we had a conversation about literature. But then I went there and so what is the next best thing? Journalism was there, and I figured, why not? Why not? It's closer to writing, and it's a decent career, so I just chose it. That's how I ended up in journalism.
Okay. So your main reason for picking it was just because it's at least closer.
To and
it's
for
something
me,
you
and I
enjoy.
felt it's something I enjoyed, and writing was easy for me. And I didn't necessarily think about it in the long run that I'd eventually end up doing being a journalist per se. I was doing it because it's closer to writing.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Okay. Would you say you're happy with your career choice?
I think I am happy with my career choice because the experiences over over the decade, the experiences have been invaluable. The learning process, I've learned a lot. Have I had any regrets? From the Dini, I think there are careers that I would have chosen that would have made me more money. That's the only regret. Maybe I was choosing easier things at the expense of better remuneration. But I guess I really do love the experience that I've gone through as a journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So money didn't influence your decision
Money
making.
didn't influence my decision making at all.
And for you, Edgar?
So my dad went and asked me. Actually, I was given 3 choices to choose from. One was, I think, it was clinical medicine. But then, clinical medicine, I think, needed maths as well.
Oh.
I think so. I'm not sure. But yeah, there was clinical medicine, there was law, and there's another one I've forgotten. So they told me, go think about it, and then come and tell us, choose one. Then I sat down, I was like, okay, let's not that bad. So I decided to do law.
Yeah.
So I think I grew to it. I'd rather say I grew into it, or I grew up to love it. It's actually a good course. And it, as much as it requires a lot of research and reading, I think over the years, I can say it's been good.
Did you choose it because of money or because you love
Now,
it?
money-wise, there's a perception about lawyers having a lot of money. It is true. Lawyers do have money. But it's something about the legal fraternity is money, being an advocate, money comes way later in life. Like the real money now. Here, it's just kidogo. It's just not that much. But or you can just be lucky here. There's that aspect of you can actually get a very huge case, and you can become rich overnight. There's that aspect as well. But then there was also that there's the other thing actually which I chose law also. There's that respect that comes with telling someone you're an advocate, you're a lawyer. it actually commands a lot of respect. People actually respect lawyers for some reason. People respect lawyers out here. Okay, maybe they used to. I don't know if they still do, but I think they still do. Yeah, there's also that factor. So it was like, okay, wakili. Hey, what was kianga wakili and something. So there's also that part.
Yeah.
And you have to wear a suit. So
And you have to wear a suit.
Yeah.
Very important. Look like you
very
have
important.
money, but you're broke. You know, it depends.
Yeah.
So there's also that. But yeah.
And Nelly,
Yeah,
did money
I actually
play a
think
part?
most people choose careers sometimes for the title. Yeah, because there's that whole thing that comes with the title, you know, passing someone into daktari, wakili. I think so. Some of our careers they're not titles. Okay, they are actually with engineer, but
Actually,
anyway,
they are.
I don't think I did not pick my career because of my money.
Okay.
I don't even think I picked my career because of any reason, really.
Yeah, you just
I
picked what's
just picked whatever was good next. Because I've always, I still, my regret will be like, I still think about myself as I would have done medicine. I feel like that's my true calling. But anyway, this was just second best choice. I didn't really pick it for money or anything. Just picked it.
But
Yeah, there
but
was-
I also think in terms of careers, you see, especially our generation, our parents now, our parents' generation, they had this influence to choose what you're doing. You get then they would also, some parents actually, if not like maybe a good percentage, they would go for the aspect of these are the, like you said, there are those how do you call them, like more of the careers that conventional careers. You get you're not a doctor, you're an engineer, you're a lawyer, you get, you're a teacher. You get there are those that are more conventional that most parents related to that generation of our parents at their time. So there's that also influence as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It's actually very right. I think parents influenced a lot of the career choices that we had.
Yeah.
Either what they had hoped that they would have been at some point, so they are probably just transferring their preferences on us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or if you look at like Edgar, what you're saying, the money aspect is in how much will this cost to take this kid through the
Yeah,
school.
Cool.
This
that's
schooling.
true.
Yeah, very
Not
true.
necessarily how much he will earn
Yeah.
after
After whatever
uni.
skills
From the
they
skills.
pass on.
So it wasn't necessarily that much. I don't think we had a lot of choices to. We had like a lot of choices, like you said. There were just the typical choices.
Yeah, typical.
You either want
Yeah.
to become a doctor, engineer,
Lawyer.
lawyer.
Mm.
Hizo ndo zilikuwa
Yeah.
zile typical.
Yeah.
Well, of
Yeah.
course, but they involved a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't think I wanted either of those because they involved a lot of work.
Yeah.
You had to get the A, sijui points gapi. It's too much
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
Like me, I think for me also another thing about why I became a lawyer is my dad used to say, if he wasn't what he was, he would have become a lawyer. That was his other
Yeah,
career.
exactly.
My dad always
Yeah,
says that.
that's
So it's
true.
usually mostly
Yes.
yeah.
Usually says mimi ningekuwa wakili by the way. Kama si eti ni mamangu wako anajua nini na nini.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be a lawyer. That is what my
Yeah.
dad. So I think I went into that because my dad also was too convinced that I should be one. Yeah, true.
Okay. They say a lot that if you're picking a career, you have to pick something that you're passionate about. Right? You have to pick something that you're passionate about. Do you guys feel like that's something that's important? I can't say I was passionate about piloting even when I wanted it, or I'm passionate about engineering currently. Yeah, but do you guys feel like your passion makes a huge difference when you're picking a career?
Personally, I will say yes. Now, experiencing what I've experienced so far,
Yeah.
I don't think I will pick something that I'm not passionate about, because that's your life, you know? Like
Yeah.
the rest of your life. You wake up in the morning and this is the thing you do. I don't want to wake up every morning hating my life, you know?
Yeah.
Like you just wake up and you're just dreading the day. You sleep dreading the day. You have so much pressure. And I see that a lot.
Yeah.
I see that a lot with the people around me, like my family, my friends. People just are looking forward to Friday. You're looking
Yeah.
forward to, you're looking forward to the day ending, you know. But if you're doing something you're really passionate about, I don't think you get to feel that. I don't think you really get to feel that because you're doing what you love,
Yeah.
right? So you're eating. It's like eating. You're eating. You're sleeping. You're living your career. Passion is everything.
Would you say you have passion in what you do?
I'm not sure I want to answer that. You know,
The employer might be watching.
Anyway.
But maybe personally, I think the theory that we are supposed to love the work we do,
Yeah.
it might not necessarily be even practical. One, it's because if you look at the nature of work as in Venyeiko structured currently, is that most people are working because most people are not doing exactly what they like what they took in, say, in high school or university, the profession they took. So you have to make do. You come into the city, now you have to find a job. Careers nowadays, the way the job market is structured, are mostly to pay bills.
Yeah.
That's
A
true.
lot of people are doing it to pay bills.
Yeah.
So while it will be ideal to have the career that you love, something that you're passionate about, mostly
That's not-
the practicality of it is not
Not
necessarily going to
necessarily.
allow you to do
Yeah.
something that you
Yeah.
that you want. You just go somewhere where you'll earn a living,
Yeah.
and that will be a job. That is why I think parents were actually right when they were trying to guide us, take this career, because there's a likelihood. Niliambiwa
Yeah.
ndugu yako alifanya hiyo literature and then stayed out here for how long without a job.
Yeah.
So take something that will necessarily
You'll start earning something,
get you into a job. So they're looking at the likelihoodness of that career getting a job. I don't think in
But I
practice.
feel like that takes away the quality of the work. Like if someone is doing a job out
Because
of
they have-
passion, something they're passionate about, even if you're an employer, if you have an employee who's doing a job they're passionate about versus one who's just doing it to pay the bills, the quality of work iko kwa huyu mwingine. Na pia yeye personally, maybe quality of life is even better.
not in my personal view. For me,
Yeah.
well, work my work means something. Doesn't have to mean that you do something that you are passionate about.
Yeah.
But whatever you do, you can be passionate about. You can be passionate about washing utensils. It's the issue is that whatever you're doing can be fulfilling because and how it can work be fulfilling. There, I think Lynn Dibotona na Konga na some advice around that. The fulfilling work is work that helps, as in it's work that it's meaningful work. Something that you think you are doing and it's productive. It helps. I mean, make somebody smile. It might be a very small job, but it's actually iko na impact kwa dunia. Rather than saying that you have to love what you do, not in terms of you have to love what you do, but not in terms of I like sort of say I'll take myself as an example. I'm Edgar. Just because you like arguing, it's not that you're going to law because you like arguing. But if you go into law because while you're doing your job, you actually improve the lives of other people. Say you make somebody win a case, angefungwa na get served justice or some that sort of thing. So you can derive happiness from your job, even if it's not necessarily the job you're most passionate about.
Also, the passion can come from just seeing that monthly salary.
Exactly. Yeah, that is motivation enough.
Passion.
Yeah, it makes you have passion. You're like,
na hiyo Friday
Yeah,
ukishikisha unajua je I've had my keep and
I'm doing something.
so I think your theory that you have to be passionate about your work,
your
it's a
doing.
bit deceiving because everybody is most people are dissatisfied about work.
Yeah.
Ideally you would just sleep and just get everything while just sleeping. That is a natural state, but now we have to work for
living, for something.
living.
Yeah.
Also, there's the aspect of
Yeah.
I look at it from the angle that sometimes you can go into a career and you might not like it from the beginning, but then as it grows, as you continue doing it, you start finding a niche. You start finding that maybe, actually not even maybe, you start actually liking what you're doing. You get. So sometimes you think you want to do something, but then you actually don't.
Yeah.
And until you actually get into that, then you're like, okay, maybe like for example, what you've said, maybe you wouldn't have even wanted to be a pilot after all.
Yeah.
You think you'd wanted it until you are like, okay, maybe
get that.
I wouldn't have wanted to do this. But then when you venture into something else, then you do it for a while, then you're like, maybe this actually can work for me. So you actually now start to see. So okay, there's that aspect of hauna any other option. So what you have, make do with what you have. So you end up liking it by maybe default. You end up liking it. You own any other thing. to
Join
do.
option.
You own option. But as well, there's that aspect. Yeah, you went into that career. After a while, you were like, okay, maybe this is actually good. I can actually be so good at it. Or you did one ulifanya kitu moja, then you're so good at it. Then you're like, okay, maybe I'm not so bad. I can actually do this. Then you grow up liking it.
That's very interesting. Let's take a short break. We'll be back. Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about whether passion is an important bit for career choice. So let me ask, if money was not in the picture completely, like you're not earning anything or getting any money back from whatever job you're doing now, would you still do it?
Me personally, I think I would. But in my case, I would choose what to do. I wouldn't go to court. You get? For me, I wouldn't do litigation. I really don't like litigation. I will do things that maybe something like to do with ADR.
What is that?
That is ADR is alternative dispute resolution. I will do more of mediation for me personally. If I didn't have to do it for the money, I would go for something to do with the alternative dispute resolution in mediation, arbitration. That one I will do it without even wanting the money, because at the end of the day, you get to listen to people. You get to sit down with people. You get to listen to stories about people and different things, and you get to give them a way forward. Personally, I would do, but now I would choose under that umbrella of law what to choose and what not to choose. Yes.
But you'd still do it.
But I will still do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Nelly, would you still do what you're doing?
No.
Definitely not.
I will not. If I had all the money,
Yeah.
I will not. I wouldn't. I would be somewhere traveling the world and shopping
Yeah.
and taking care of my kids and being a good wife. I'm not. I'm doing this because I have
Yeah.
to. Because I have to help my partner. Because hey, the cost of living is so high. You need to chip in the
Yeah.
home and stuff. But if I had all the money,
Mm-hmm.
nah. And even if I was gonna work, I would do something I'm so comfortable. Like there's no pressure of deadlines and timelines and all that.
Yeah.
I'll do something that I control the time. Like I can't go to work today. I can't.
Yeah.
I can take off when I need to. Something that
Yeah.
is within my comfortability.
Mm-hmm.
That's a word. Anyway, but I wouldn't do something where I have to report every day and there are deadlines. There's so much pressure sometimes. No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Okay.
For me personally, I would definitely still be writing, but not news. So I would not be doing news, going around and chasing that. What is the next story? What is this? No. I'd be writing and researching, but just books. Generally, I always wanted to be a writer as a kid, so I guess I enjoy reading and writing. So I would be a writer, but not a journalist. And actually, just to flip this question around, do you guys think you'll still be doing this maybe after you probably say you've collected enough money for your retirement, or at some point you are leaving this job market? Do you think you'll still maintain an interest in your own career, or how do you do it? I remember when my father was retiring, he was coming home and then after that you don't necessarily have anything else to do. So alianzisha some small little shop, na sisi true to our roots as Luyas, akaanzisha posho mill. Sasa so somebody who has been in the banking hall for the entirety of his life, all of a sudden you're now running a retail shop and a posho mill. So it's crazy. So what do you guys intend to do when you are after you've just finished your nini? And maybe there's 60 years, the 50 years, you're struggling to collect some money for your retirement.
Personally, I feel like I have a problem with the fact that careers have to be linear. Like I have to decide I'm going to be a lawyer and then be a lawyer for the rest of my life. I want to be able to do a bit of everything. I guess you even learn more that way. Yeah, so it would be nice to be a farmer for a bit, and then be a teacher for a bit, a photographer a bit. You get just mix it up. I think it's even
Karl
more
Marx.
interesting than having this linear thing. Yeah. But also maybe it's just helping me deal with the fact that maybe I ni deep son.
Sasa hiyo kitu nasema, actually your theory ya Karl Marx, ati somebody you're supposed to wake up in the morning, unaenda kwa shamba, unatoka in the afternoon, you write a song, because a human being is not necessarily supposed to do one thing for your entire life.
Yeah,
But now the flip side is for the productivity ilidiscoveriwa, which is a concept ya Ford. If you do one small task, if one person does one small task, alafu mnatengeneza your factory floor where somebody just does one thing, you produce more. as a human society than when you do those different things.
Yeah.
So you're having
Because
a
then it
predicament
creates
that is,
confusion,
it's a predicament that is there. What you want is not necessarily what the job market is ready to offer
Yeah, but then Pia, I guess Pia it goes to contentment, as in people have different ideas of a successful career. What if mine is just an average pay, that I don't have to be the best at this specific thing, but I can have my average pay and learn something from this? At the end of the day, I think that's more important than the money even, right? I do something small, enjoy doing it for the amount of time that I've done it, finish that, move on, learn something else. And then even then, so when I'm learning something else, I already have knowledge of this other thing. Am I not more of an asset?
Arguably.
Arguably you'd say that.
Yeah.
But now, speaking about it, now let's be real about it. For example,
Practicality.
you the practicality part of it, maybe you can expound on that. But now the practicality part of it, how does that get to work? Let's say, for example, you're a banker. You work in the banking hall for 2 years. okay,
Yeah.
you feel like you've done everything that you can, and and inside the banking sector, you shift, you go and do some. Let's say you buy some land in
Do
Ruiru.
farming.
You start poultry farming, or let's say you rear pigs.
Yeah.
Then you do it for a year, and then you move on. Right? Okay. Now next, and then give us now. I'm just.
What can I do next?
Uh-huh.
Anything, painting.
Then
Like the problem would be money, right? But if I'm content with having a little, is that not something that can be better than sticking to a straight career path? Plus, even the ones who do stick to a straight career path, at some point they're very dissatisfied. At some point they're like, yeah, this was my passion. Even if it's passion, they're like, this was my passion, but now I'm just so sick of it. I want to try something else. But then most people just confine themselves to sasa now. It has to be that one straight line.
do you think it's people or it's society?
Society.
I think it's the other way around. Yeah.
It's society.
But
It's
that
what society puts
again.
But what
maybe
makes
that begs-
society?
Sorry.
Us, the people. We're the ones that make up the society at the end of the day. So if we move telling ourselves...
It's capital.
Yeah.
No, the jobs that are there have already been created. We are just fitting into
Fitting
something
into
that's already
something
there.
that was already
We have very little choice in this particular game. But
Do
yeah,
we? Do we really have very little choice?
bills.
Anyway, that also actually brings up the question of what do you consider successful?
contentment.
Yeah, what
Okay.
is your I don't know
Exactly.
how to phrase it, yeah. That also brings up that question. Like what will you
Yeah, what
consider
would you say is a successful career?
Yeah. It's a-
Me, I'd say it now. That one will be more circumstantial. You see, it's per person.
yeah.
What might be successful for me might not be for you.
So
Yeah.
what do you
Generally,
But there has to be some. We can agree on certain. We can agree on certain parameters of this thing. Me, I think a career. Why are we doing it in the first place? So of course you're trying to you're selling a skill or
Yeah.
whatever you're trying to do, and getting back some value for it. So you're doing it maybe for the money or for the you can call it contentment or whatever satisfaction that you
Yeah.
want to derive from it. But generally, what we agree is that money is the easiest way to quantify this value.
the measure
So
of
you're doing
success.
it so that you can get a certain value out of it. You can get you can make somebody happy and say that is all I'm getting from this job. But then at the end of the day, it's the pay slip. So you want money. You want money that will allow you to live comfortably, money that will allow you to take your children to school, give them a sort of
Comfortable life.
Yeah.
and money that you can comfortably retire with, because at some point you will not be as physically active as you are right now, so you need some money to when you're out of the job market, you can earn a living. So money is still the primary reason why people do work,
And that's also the measure of success.
and that's
in
also the
like
measure
a
of success.
career.
How much have you accumulated over time? Is it enough to take you through through your old age, however long you live? Is it enough to take your children to school, to at least cover your medical expenses? Still money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually that's true.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
It's-
Money
At
does
the end of the
play a
day,
very
if you
big
see,
role.
even in the traditional African society, any family or any homestead was quantified by, let's say, the number of cattle they have. See, at the end of the day, they would quantify you for what you have. You get, not what you give back or something like that. You get, like they would say, this kind of home, they have this kind of wealth. So you get, so you will find that people in that home, they are comfortable, so
Yeah.
they'll be perceived as they are
Successful.
they're successful. Yeah, you see, so at the end of the day, it comes down to the money. As much as you want to be passionate, or you're doing it
Yeah.
for love or what, you still, it will
helping
still,
people.
it was a
Yeah.
help. Yes,
You can do that
in your leisure time.
You can do it and help people and still get money out of
You
it.
can't
Yeah.
you can't help people and you're sleeping on the streets. Anyway, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need money.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable enough to be able to help the next person, because siwezi kama nikupatie food na mimi sijakula. I have to eat first so that I can give you food.
Maybe you don't have to. Maybe we can share.
It's, but also there's the factor of I have to also have something. before
Yeah.
you get, it's all about give and take. More, it's give and take.
Yeah.
But you haven't told us, Sasa Nyiwa William, you haven't told us what you'd retire to if you were to retire.
Oh, my retirement perfect life, I'm seeing myself in a ranch somewhere, farming and rearing animals like cows and goats and something. That's my perfect retirement plan. Like, I see myself doing that. Yeah.
For me, my retirement, more of what I would envision, I would travel the world. Me, that is mine.
Yeah, that would
For
be
me, that
nice.
is...
Retirement when you're
Yeah,
old.
but then that's
Yeah,
the problem.
you can still travel when
I
you're
want to
old.
travel right now.
Who
I
says
can't.
when you're old you can't travel?
No, but like why
just-
why is
Una
that
travel,
harder.
it's uncomfortable.
It's harder.
It's not uncomfortable. For me, I think it
madawa za
speaks to...
kumeza.
Who says...
Ngoja kidogo.
Why are you assuming you'll be
You have
sick?
to be a
No,
little-
Why are you assuming you'll be
No,
sick?
Because all it comes with sickness.
No, it's not necessarily.
Have you ever seen a healthy old
when you're
person?
old? Why can't you do it
Edgar,
now?
No, you can still do it right now, but I wouldn't...
Hebu imagine umefika time daktari ashasema you can't eat meat. Umeenda kwa hizo travel.
Expensive 5 stars. Just there.
The best you can do ni kukuja tu nini some
know,
very blood
You go to the Alps, you know, you see the views, you know, you're always on the move. You know, old age doesn't really necessarily mean that you're grounded. You get?
You could be.
Why?
It's a
Okay, maybe.
possibility.
Now you see, maybe we are speaking from the aspect of you have to retire when you're at 60. Because
Okay,
that is what our
that's
law
also
says.
fair.
You get?
That's
I
also
can also
fair.
argue from that
Yeah,
aspect.
okay,
You see,
yeah.
well, now
But
we
yeah,
are,
that-
our argument here is that you're
Yeah.
saying that you're retiring at 65. You get? Like,
Yeah.
like you're a government
Yeah.
employee. You get? There's no government employee up. You get? Because at the end of the day, who says I want to retire at 40?
Yeah, true.
I'm a 45. You get?
Yeah.
45,
Yeah.
you can travel the world.
Okay, that's fair.
There's another who,
Definitely.
exactly. So it doesn't necessarily mean because our government says you retire at 65. Okay, it is 60. Because the law says it's at 60.
At what point do you think you should retire in your career?
Personally, as a lawyer,
As a lawyer.
there's no retirement as a lawyer. You'll work until you die. Because there's always either someone wants to buy a property. There are criminals everywhere.
Yeah, doesn't really have. You can teach till you die. You can be a doctor
Yeah.
till you die.
Yeah.
You can. I don't think. Maybe you're arguing in terms of.
There are careers that you can actually retire from. Like let's say, for example, let's say being your, let's say, how do you call this thing? You work at a gym. Or you're a footballer. You're a footballer.
Yeah, those ones
You say you're a footballer. If you're a footballer, you retire. An athlete. Or if you're an athlete, you know.
But then, you know say increasingly but then unaona which brings us nini another point then we wanted to raise. Increasingly venye dunia ina evolve, young people will not be able to retire. You know, sometimes you can say that it's a choice that I can retire because I have enough money to retire. But venye tunafanya you say nobody has pension. Most of the young people that are coming into the job market, they don't have pension per se.
No, they don't.
So they have there's no money that they have set aside that they could retire. So they're probably going to work for the rest of their lives until they die, which is something very interesting that is
Don't tell
evolving.
that to young people. They won't like it.
But
But
it's the
it's
truth.
the truth.
Yeah, but they don't.
Unfortunately.
There's no pension anymore. People
There's no
just-
pension anymore. There are no protection. So they're probably gig economy is just a very destructive economy because it will now need to keep them there for a long time. Which should also tell us that the evolution of the job market. Kama hii mambo ya artificial intelligence, mambo ya technology, what is it doing to careers? Do you guys think that you still have your careers will still be existing in the next 10 years?
Personally, yes.
Tell us why.
Okay, I know right now I'm specifically not doing like the manufacturing bit of my career.
Yeah.
I'm more of software, which is evolving. But then even this AI stuff need to be maintained. I mean, that's where it comes in. But I'm just saying manufacturing will never stop. Like the
But
world,
see, they are
we
done
have-
more with machines, I think, for now.
exactly, but you need people to handle
maintain
those
those
machines,
machines.
or to whatever, you know,
To service.
So, yeah, to service, or even like tell them what they need to do. Like manufacturing is not ending. That's where the world is heading to. So no, I don't think AI is going to take over my career. Not really. Yeah, I feel like it's going to improve it.
Yeah.
It's going to improve it very much. Right now, being an engineer will just be... I mean, the whole definition of engineering is making life easy.
Yeah.
Or making your work easy.
Yeah.
So AI is just coming to make work very easy. Yeah, maybe we won't need as many engineers, but
Definitely.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's not ending.
It's,
I'm more
it's
concerned
scary.
about you, Tiato.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary for some of us. You know, wanasema for a long time venye unasema for a long time we were always ilikuwa technology was sort of taking over the physical jobs, like now the actual manufacturing, the welding, the actual putting things together. Now kuna 3D
Assembly.
printer. If at some point I'm sure cars will just be printed. You
Yeah,
don't need to like
that's true.
go to into a company and buy a car. So everything will be nini. But now imekuja kwa now the knowledge economy where it's actually kitu nasema if ati they will require human beings to sort of help the machine do everything, but at some point pia at this rate the machine
machines might take
will
over.
be telling the
Yeah.
machines what to do. Machines will be telling machines what to do.
That's actually
Like, and you're right about journalism. The AI is going to change journalism in a very drastic way, where there's no point of me reporting the financial results of a bank, because those are very repetitive tasks that I can say first quarter profit grew from A to Z because of blah blah blah, because that is something that a machine can easily learn and do the story without necessarily needing my help. But what I see personally is that journalism now will move more into storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, a machine can maybe do very repetitive tasks that are fed into it. This is their logarithm. Go and check this, the cause and effect, blah blah blah. But a human being can do more. A human being can make a story more interesting, can involve themselves in the story. So the storytelling will be more prominent than just basic giving information. So journalism will stop being
it will stop being new.
it'll stop being telling people this happened here, because currently that's already being phased out by just the
Yeah.
little technology that we have, and as the technology advances, it will be on steroids. Now you don't necessarily need people to report certain things, but you will need people to tell you how it felt to be in a certain situation where this thing is happening. How did it feel to be in this particular situation? A machine will just tell you this is what happened, but how does it feel as a human being to be in
then
that particular space?
investigative journalism might actually be the way we're going now, right?
It will be the way we are going in the future. Yeah. Nothing repetitive.
Definitely. I think for this creative jobs, the ones that require creativity, it's very difficult for an AI to duplicate. Like if it's painting, an AI
Painting,
can,
they are
Yeah,
doing
they actually
They're
do it
painting
so
now.
better than
Better?
yeah, way better
Way
than even
better, more precise.
there was
But are
a
they new ideas, or they're just
No,
copying
no,
a combination
mostly,
of things that people have done?
Unless maybe abstract art. I don't think they can really hack that.
they actually can.
think they
There's a
can.
story. There's a story. I'm not sure about the exact connotations, but there was a story in the UK where
Yeah.
it was an art competition. So you actually saw the story. Then an AI painted a perfect painting.
That's
Then it was
scary.
taken. Actually, it won the competition. Then the artist who brought it actually
Refused.
He refused because he said this is an AI that did this, but it had already won the competition. So it actually
That's
can
very
paint properly.
scary.
It is very
Especially
scary.
things like dancing, then
No, but
makeup.
and makeup.
You'd be surprised. You'd be
Makeup.
surprised. You'd be surprised that it can pull it off. It's just if it's because hiyo inaweza measure
If it-
what is required, how
It
many
can be
nini, like it
perfect.
can inaweza ujue AI you feed it instructions. Eka hii amount of this. It can,
I guess, but anyway, the consolation
can-
it
can
can't generate new ideas.
Yeah. Can AI go to a courtroom and argue a case?
No, that is the
It can
thing.
give facts
The-
that
no, the
can
research.
finish
Yeah.
the case.
It can do the
Right.
research, but
Right.
it cannot.
there is this
it cannot-
you can't
it
beat
cannot-
if you get a lawyer who's using AI and a lawyer who's doing the physical
research.
research, you
Yeah,
can't be
it
the
can
other
be
lawyer.
the-
Yeah.
in court
It can do the
level.
research part, but in terms of presentation of facts and arguing them out. No, arguing them out now. You see, it doesn't. It was just taking the facts to court. You can actually have all the facts, but the way you present them and argue them, it's actually very different. Because at the end of the day, it's who tells the better story.
Yeah.
You see, because we all have, there are two sides to a story. You get right? There's my side, there's the other advocate side.
Yeah.
So if I have the better story and I can tell it in a better way, then I get to win the case. Of course, you have to bring in the law as well onto it. So for me, I think an AI can actually do the research, yes. But now, the arguing part,
Cannot be done by
I don't think it can be done. Not yet, at least.
Not
photography.
yet.
Photography cannot be done by.
No, photography
Why
is being
not?
done by AI.
It's
As in,
being done by
yeah,
AI.
now camera, as in, initially you needed somebody who knows how to take photos. But increasingly, say you just have a camera that can sense where your face is, freeze you and take the camera is doing more than the photographer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and increasingly what they're
yeah.
doing is that in the future,
They incorporate AI
amateur
into the-
photography is going to be, as in, you don't need a photographer. You need a camera. And the AI will will do the settings. Even you because the photographer scares because wanafanya hizo settings wanakwambia sijui like no. Yote utakuwa umeachia AI. You just sit back.
Because
and
they can
you
actually even take that camera and put it onto a drone.
Yeah.
And if the camera has been incorporated with an AI software, it can actually take photos.
Yeah.
That's scary. What's
It's
the
very
world
scary,
becoming?
but let us not.
They should panic.
Okay,
Careers
guys.
wise, they should panic.
Acha turudi ideal. Sasa tuendelee tu. Yeah.
Kuna-
Alafu pia
as in you can-
not everyone should have a choice. Unaona pia ndo kitu ikuwe na balance. Unaona ndo a football team ndo tukuwe na team nzuri ya 11 players. Venye unasema unaweza kuwa na Messi, kazi yake ni anaweza move around, akuwe striker leo.
Hawezi cheza
Yeah.
peke yake.
Move around lakini kuna ule mwenye kazi yake ni asimame tu kwa goal na
Na
ashike
ashike
ball.
ball.
Ukisema ati kila mtu anakuwa allowed ku move around, acheze any position,
Na create confusion.
defender aende akuwe striker huko, kuna problem. Because kuna mtu lazima tu aoshe tu choo.
Yeah.
Someone
So-
has to do
But
something.
So do you think the
Kuna mtu
system
lazima
is
tu
rigged?
kuna
No,
mtu
but that's
kuna mtu
the-
lazima tu achimbe kaburi.
But that's what Leo.
So,
okay,
sik-
that's why we're
na-
saying personality. Basi, personality is very different. Kuna watu they're content by the way with waking up in the morning and doing one thing. They
In
don't mind.
is there anyone in
They
reality
are.
that they're just
Yeah.
content to
But
do
hiyo
it?
choice
Doing the same
sasa
thing.
nikuulize, kuna mtu anafurahia kuosha choo? I don't think so.
No, but those ones have to do it because okay, I don't know. but
Exactly.
They
they wouldn't
don't.
be happy.
They just need the money.
Yeah.
Everyone's just doing
Yeah,
it
because
for
the money is inasaidia hiyo balance. Kuna wale wenye wanasema now no I have wanasemanga once you have eaten you can have a choice and say now I want to do this, but hii structure ya kuweka pesa as the true value of nini work is a very good thing, because at the end of the day inasaidia, although not to the detriment, not to the benefit of everyone. Not everyone benefits from it, but everybody, there's somebody who does something. Hata the work that nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone will be
do
forced
it.
to do it.
because
Because they
money.
need
Because
the
there is work that nobody wants to do. A lot of work that nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
But me think even from the Shambhala Wanyama thing, all animals are not the same. Let's just get,
People are
because
just
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
life has to have that, that kind of structure. Because otherwise kutakuwa na confusion. You
Chaos.
get? Kutakuwa,
Yeah,
it will
too
be
much
chaos.
chaos.
Mona, it will be chaos. Because if everybody is, kila mtu afanye Kenya anataka, you just do what you want to do. You see, that's why when we have laws. You see, there is like that structure.
The world
There's a
has to
system. That has to be, there's that system. When
But
the
is it
system
in our
correct-
nature? If we have to
Exactly.
put things in
human
place,
being-
it's not in our nature.
Nothing is
then.
in our
Exactly.
nature.
Because at the end
So
of the
this
day,
is very
human
So
beings.
many things are natural. Everything is
Work is not
about
natural.
Yeah.
Right now. Don't want to go into that.
Because if you just
Yeah.
let it be like, it's like a forest. Like animals just run wild. Human beings can just run wild. People just do what they want.
So it's more of, work is more for control than anything
It's
else.
more for control. Me, that is what I think. It's more for control because,
Yeah.
and also to your structure at the end of the day. You see, if there's a manager, kuna venye uteta umesema there's someone to clean the washrooms. There's one to bring in stuff. You get, like, it balances out at the end of the day. Kuna waya kufanya
Yeah.
hii because we akifanya hii, someone else does something else. So at least in a balance. So there's that form of some.
I don't even
But
think
pia-
those people, like managers, when maybe like what they're doing. They probably don't. You would think
But
that
there's
they
people
enjoy
who
it,
like
but maybe
managing people. Maybe utapata kuna moja mwenye
They actually are.
anaenjoy.
Kuran watu.
Yeah.
Even
But
if you
for
say,
what? Mi hata swali yangu ni like for what? For money. Like
Yes.
that's
yeah,
why.
because at the end of the day, you cannot do
Hey.
without money. Tuambiane tu kweli.
Yeah.
you can't. You
Yeah.
can't survive.
You can't survive with where we are at as a world sahi. You cannot do it without money.
For now, it's just for survival.
For now, it's more of you have to
What
keep
is there a
ends meet.
situation where you see that money will never be important?
No, I'm thinking maybe kama kitambo.
Oh.
Like where
There
these
will-
people
cause
used to do butter
ikitu,
trade,
yeah,
But
ikitu-
you see,
things like
it's
that.
actually that is money. Barter trade is you give
If you
me.
don't have,
You don't
what are
have, you
going to
don't
exchange?
receive. Mona, you cannot exchange with
And
nothing.
how are you going to have
Yeah,
it?
but then
Uko na unga,
I'm not going to
nikupatie
exchange
viazi.
more than I need. If I'm getting food, for instance, why am I getting 1 million mindis if I just need like 2 for dinner?
But maybe because you want variety.
I like how
You want a lot of variety. You want to eat leo maini, kesho nini, nyama, the other day fish, nini, and you can't do all those things. So ukipanda mahindi yako, you need a lot of maize so that ukikuwa na hiyo gorogoro yako ukienda upata mtu anauza fish,
unazanunua fish.
Exchange naye. So you have the unayo flexibility. So but
Me, I'm just not okay with this stuff.
Mostly work is not necessarily, people don't necessarily love their work. I think that the theory that people should love their work is misleading.
Yeah,
it's very misleading, but it's the theory that is accepted because people don't question it, because it feels good to say that you should love your work.
But then if you actually look at it, how much time are we spending at work from when you graduate but some people start working maybe at to minimum 20, right? Maybe life expectancy yako ni say 70 ama 80 sawa 80,
40 years.
So you're working, is that 40 years or 60?
from
Okay,
20 to
80, 60.
Yeah,
60
sawa. You have 60 years of just doing something you didn't enjoy, and
Exactly.
9 to 5, this is a huge chunk of your life and you're here for the experience. Fine,
For
it
me-
might benefit using my capitalism. In the long run, we unapata maybe pesa kidogo, unless wewe ni you get if you're making that kind of money, maybe I would do it every day.
But you get to grow. It's not like 60 years utakuwa umekaa tu the same chair.
No, kuna watu
But in the same line.
kuna watu
Oh, yeah,
you know,
also.
you meet those people in factories when they've made the same thing for the last 40 years. They've been if you go to that place unaambiwa if you want to know just reach to sijui maina mahali.
Now me, I would
Kufanya hiyo kitu.
such a person mimi, I would conclude huyo ni mtu mwenye ana some sort of focus.
Maybe ako too
Because-
content.
Maybe ako too content. Kuna watu who
Then
are
then
less
then
content.
then ndako sawa basi, because
But
if you're
if you-
content
if you
with
can
what
do
you're
the same
doing,
work for
you'll
all
be the
those
same.
years yenyewe.
Exactly, but if you're not
Those
content,
are the job that
itakupatia that push to want to do better. You get, because as a human being, let's say like now I've started as a assistant manager. Hapana, unaanzanga kama clerk, let's say for example. Alafu mimi, if I am able to sit as a clerk for like 60 years, I must be very content.
Yeah.
But if I am not, itani challenge to grow. You get,
To move.
to move from
Want
that
to move.
position. So zikaa hapo 60 years I'm just nalia tu mi siwezi. But you are there for 60 years. But then if you're challenged enough, you're like, hey, okay, maybe I can actually go to school, do something for 6 months, tapanda cheo. So you get to grow. You get, I would even shift careers now, as you were saying. You're like, okay, maybe I've done this, I can bridge, and another bridge what I did, another bridge with something else,
Yeah.
so that I can get into another career. You get,
Yeah.
then you get to grow as you go.
And those are these are most of the careers that are going to be eliminated by AI. If you're doing something that is very repetitive, na iko tu, that is all you can do for the entire life. It's probably the reason why you're doing it. And it's because it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
If you can do that thing forever, then it's unnecessary.
It's true.
Probably
Yeah.
something else should take technology. Fanya alafu you are rendered jobless, and then you are forced now to go back and
But give me
reorient.
an example of a career that you'll not do the same thing day in, day out.
No.
I think it's most careers you'll do the same thing. Maybe utakuwa tu you
Variations
twitch a
go
little
kidogo,
bit. Una
But
twitch tu
it's the
kidogo.
same.
But ideally
You're doing the same.
you're doing the same thing. You see, like journalism, yes, you're chasing just different stories.
But
But it's
But
still the same.
you're chasing a story. At the end of the day, jana ulifukuza
what
ati
I'm
kulikuwa na moto ilichomeka Kinango. Kesho kuna nyumba imeungua Ruiru. Yani it's the same thing. But una twitch to just a little bit. You get, every day it's just the same thing. But
And maybe reporting style.
Exactly, maybe,
Unajua,
exactly.
Format lazima
Kuna
ikuwe
format.
hii.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So
Yeah.
and in as much as pia unasema ati you're growing your career, you're growing your career as a person, are you getting a lot of new information? No, may think at a diverse career path, you're gaining more, you're growing more as a person, as opposed to you who's done law from you are 20 to when you're 80. Me who have done photography, styling, I've done like law. Okay, maybe yenye law na medicine hawezi fanya ati na short course.
Let me ask
But
you.
yeah.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So yeah, you've done all that. What's the end goal?
Experience.
And then
So you do the one you're doing that's linear, and then
the same thing. Okay, this
at the end of the day, Kenneth alisema at the end of the day we're all dead.
All of us, we are just going towards the same path. We're just gonna
we're all
die.
we're all
but
dead.
at least I won't be miserable while I'm here.
Yeah.
At least
Something.
it might have.
I
Yeah.
I
Then
spent all my
you're
life
dead.
doing this. and the same path, just doing this every day, waking
Yeah.
up, and I took care of my family, and I brought up a generation, whatever reason why you do whatever you do.
Yeah.
We are heading towards the same place. It's not that if I have more experience, I'm gonna live more or do whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not going to live
longer.
more, but you're going to have a better
You'll
life.
be able to hold conversations and
Yeah,
think, I don't know, diversity,
but
still.
what Leo is saying, as in what integrally she's saying, which I don't know if people can accept. Capitalism is we do meaningless work as capitalism.
That's true.
Take for granted. Then take for example, because your lawyers. These people come up with a constitution where they write laws. They are the ones who write the laws, and then now they interpret the same laws.
Imagine.
Literally.
No, not really.
Sisi watu wa journalism, mostly we are just taking information from here, passing it. Nikaa tumekuwa watu wa gossip. Essentially, there's nothing essentially. Mtu wa bank, what does he do? Just count money.
Yeah,
People's
count
money,
your money,
not
yeah.
your money. You just like you wake up every morning to count people's money.
And what
No,
about
it's-
doctors?
Yeah. I feel
Doctors, teachers, farmers, productive work,
Yeah.
very productive.
Productive.
Anapanda mbegu, it becomes it multiplies. One seed becomes an entire plant. A doctor ana treat mtu, like somebody who was sick becomes well.
Yeah.
Unaona? Their work that is
Teachers
actually
are building.
teachers actually wanakupa information. They even teach you how to source
But they're
information.
teaching the
and-
same thing year in year.
Yeah, it might be.
But
at least
last year you ulifunza
productivity yake
biology,
ni-
this year syllabus ija change.
But
They're still
productivity
doing the same.
yake-
Productivity-wise, like,
yake ni
imagine a kid who can't speak goes to school and they come back.
come back, yeah.
Now you see, now that comes from the part of the end product. You get like now maybe you say the person that they're getting to pass this information
law
to
tunaproduce
in our challenge. You get like now let's say for a
But
teacher
law
you get a
mnaproduce.
What
kid.
are you producing?
Let me finish. You see, like now, let's say, for example, a teacher who's teaching a kid who has, let's say, for example, autism. So it challenges that teacher to go and get the skills. You get, for example, maybe two. But at the end of the day, this teacher, all the kids, let's say there's a slow kid and a fast kid. At the end of the day, the subject, the syllabus ni ile. Mona, anafunza about the same thing the whole year. Term 1, term 2, term 3. Next year come in.
No, we're not getting the point.
Productivity.
Produce.
They're producing people.
Something at the end of the
something
the
at the
line.
end of the day. What are you producing
What?
as a lawyer?
As a lawyer,
What are you
what do you guys
producing?
produce?
Yeah.
As a lawyer, we are helping out people.
What are
Yes.
you helping?
It's more because let me tell you, if in an instance where let me tell you, see, not everybody understands how things happen actually. Because
What do you mean?
Why do you think there's so many people who get conned out here? Maybe because you really, you see, there's that aspect here. You're also helping someone achieve
You're the
something
bigger
else.
lawyers ndio wanatukon than anyone else.
Not really,
Honestly,
not really, because at the end of the day,
if you are honest, most of the work we do is meaningless. No, law ndio iko nini, one of the biggest problem ya nini. Wanajikreatia kazi. Like they write the laws and then they help us interpret what they have written.
no, lawyers don't make the law.
And then they
Lawyers don't make the law. It's members of parliament
members
who
of
make
parliament,
the laws.
probably most of them are lawyers, and the what they do is making laws. Now it's something that has been created by.
Whether the constitution wasn't even made with lawyers. The people who made the constitution are actually just normal monarchy, because they come to you and ask you, how would you love such a thing to be done? Then you see them. The thing
And then they put
is
it
put it into words.
into
words.
Therefore, the heavy words. English words. Alafu wanaipea different meaning. Wanakwambia that and must mean something different. It's some crazy shit.
Man.
So Karl Marx was right. Capitalism just takes us and inatuvuta into the machine, then turns us into a machine that produces a lot of nothing.
It's just
Instead,
a rat race.
we should have been doing things that are meaningful, maybe a meaningful work. Vianasema, you wake up in the morning, you are a farmer. In the day, you are a poet. In the evening, you become a storyteller. And then whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, that's
Because at the end of the day,
That's a
at the end of the day, we are all, there's one way out.
the one
Eh.
I just well enjoyed the experience. This is so wide. We can't cover everything in careers right now. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let us know your thoughts and like this video, share, and definitely subscribe. Bye.